Hello, this is Paul here, and I just got a little comment on this little Blender for Noobs tutorial because I was trying to see if there is a trick to modeling cars in Blender because I'm used to doing other software like Wings 3D, and I always tend to fall back on using it. So I wanted to see if there was any tricks I could learn to modeling a car a bit faster in Blender. So just for the heck of it, I watched the Blender for Noobs tutorial. And although I'm not entirely a noob at modeling, I'm still a noob at modeling in Blender. So I just wanted to see if he had any tricks to it, and I was watching some stuff.
Okay. So then when you start,
Like, how he's doing the car layout. And the gist of it isn't too bad. I wanted to say something about the topology. And what he does is he brings the bottom edge up to define the wheels, but some of the edge flows in topology I think can be better done for cars. It's just like other kinds of mesh. Certain things have certain things in topology. Like if you make people or animal characters, you tend to have like edge loops around the mouth or the eyes. When it comes to vehicles, it's not too different from that. And yet certain rules to topology still kind of apply if you want to be more efficient with your mesh. And the way he does it is he brings the edges, but there's no loops going around the wheels. And I'll just show you real quick, bringing up my own Blender here. So let me get my tablet for a sec, and then grease pencil real quick. And when you do things like cars or vehicles, there's always like an edge loop that defines. There's like an edge loop for every major surface. So this one here has an edge loop, and that's just like the front of the hood. And there's like another edge loop here. Well, mine it curves, but there's an edge loop there, and that's defining the surface of the hood. And there's one here for the roof, another one for the roof line, like so. And there's probably another one in the back. It comes through there, but it goes in the wheel well area. And then there's one here, it kind of does the top. And you can adjust the curves on these to define shapes of different cars. And sometimes with the hatchback, you bring the roof all the way to the back, or a wagon. And then there's usually an edge loop here. It's not always the tightest defined, depends on the roof shape. But he's missing these edge loops here, which are for the wheel arches. And you gotta do edge loop there, edge loop there. Depending on how the back of the car is, there's usually also an edge loop around here. And I didn't have them in yet because I didn't model it far, but there was usually a loop that goes around here. And another one down there. But then you adjust the flows for the shape of the car so you can define it better. But the thing is with these edge loops, when you do them like that, he went flying to the camera. That's weird. Didn't expect that. But you have the loops come around. Oh, the eraser doesn't want to work. It's weird flying up to the camera like that. Yeah, you got the line coming around. Something like that. And that line comes around here. But yeah, you have edge loops that define your wheel arches. You gotta do that. But as you can see in my model here, that's kind of following his same drawings, that there's a lot less mesh to it, and you can already see the shape of the car. And the thing about these edge loops, if you do them right, you can control smoothing a lot better. Let me get out of this draw mode here. So if I were to put a smooth modifier on, or subdivision, I guess, you can see it's closer to the shape of the car, and though it has a mesh density like this, but you can still, if I turn this off or just get rid of it, you can still see there's a pretty good definition with the minimal amount of polygons, and I thought I'd just pass that on, Or even with wheeled vehicles and mechanical things, your edge loops matter if you were wanting to do good topology, and You'll notice that I have it in a shaded view too, so you can see that it's not scrunching up too much. Or yeah, there's some poles here, but when you increase the density of the mesh, you can always adjust and bring them out. Remember, it's a vehicle, so it's not like it's gonna be too weird on the face once you get it lined up right. It's not going to move because it's a fixed surface. So yeah, you just do it like something like this. And this also goes for like wheel arches on trucks or even like armored vehicles or tanks where the wheels kind of go in a bit. To still have the loops going around the wheels. Or even on the recesses for landing gears, the covers and stuff, where the covers attach. I don't know, but there's like a loop that goes around. So like every major surface has a loop. And I don't think my explanation's the world's best, but if you were to talk to some people that model vehicles all the time, get some inputs on mechanical modeling, you'll probably see a similar thing go on. You might say to truncate the lines or do some other stuff, but the basic flow is you want loops to define your major topology surface changes. And that's just all I'd like to point out. So instead of having just loops go all the way around, there are loops on the bottom too, so I'll show you. He just has loops that you like this, and that. But on mine, you gotta have the loops. I suggest doing it on your model too. And there's loop there, loop there. Yeah, you can see there's loop there. But you gotta have the flow change for the arch, like every major surface. Not just the sides and the top or whatever. You gotta, like, those are a surface too. And this usually extend around, depending on how your model is. There'll probably be a loop here, or a partial one, but if you had a full model, it would go all the way through. Just to give you an idea. Of course, sometimes you don't have to do the underside, or you can cut it out, or whatever. The idea is you want loops to define your major surfaces. And by doing so, you can get by with a much less dense mesh. And when you have your doors, there'll be a loop for the door, like so. You already have the roof, but that will also define your window. Here's other little tricks, but you can see the loops will flow around and define your surfaces. And it gives a nicer topology. Loop over here. Alright, hope I didn't ramble on too much. I thought I'd just point that out. Alright.